What's going on, ladies and gentlemen?
What's up, Toronto? It's Rax.
You know this is Muscle from the Entertainment Report podcast. Shouting out who?
The Mandem.
The Mandem Show.
Every Monday to Friday at 6 p.m. to check out their show.
Every single day on YouTube. You know what? 6 p.m. Check them out right now and leave me right here, right now. Bye.
You're gonna get fucked. Like, there's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. You can start at that part when you're gonna get fucked, but I guess you gotta bleep it out because you know you're not supposed to swear in the first couple of minutes of the YouTube.
No, fuck the algorithm.
Yeah, fuck you, algorithm niggas, bro. We don't care. We're the mandem. A lie? A lie? No music, no intro music. You wanna just get straight into it? Yeah, let's get straight into it. You already know. It's the Mandem Show. It's your boy Gutzy, DJ Las Vegas. Hey, and we got a really, really, really special guest here, man. A lot of times you see us like we're arguing. Well, we're not arguing. We're just going back and forth doing the news stuff. We're going back and forth with like music, all kinds of stuff that are going on in the world. But sometimes we need to be informative. We need to get information about what's going on, not just in the streets, behind the bars. You know what I'm saying? In these jails, especially as two people that have been behind there, the guys, we like to inform people what's going on, good and bad with the jails and how we can help. So we brought today Miss, should we call you your Insta name or Gloria? Yeah, I'm seeing Miss Glowz.
Yes, Miss Glowz.
Glowz. She an author, an activist.
What else do you do?
You do a lot of stuff.
So tell him, what do you do? What else?
Oh, okay. I do like workshop facilitations.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's it?
I
You work with Price with doing the Grow Your Media stuff. I don't know what you're doing behind the scenes with him, but like, yeah, I see you helping some of the music artists sometimes and stuff like that. I seen you with Century 1-2 times and doing stuff. So don't sell yourself short.
Okay.
You can tell she's a humble soul.
Right?
A humble soul.
I like to be in nature. And, I like to be in nature, so.
Just outside, birds, water, all them kind of thing there.
Yeah.
What's your background?
I'm Nigerian from my father's side, and I'm also Chinese from my mom's side.
Nice.
What side do you take more of?
My mom's side, only because like I was raised in my Chinese side. English is actually my second language.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So your first language is?
Gongdong.
That's the language?
Yep. Cantonese.
That's Cantonese?
Cantonese.
Yeah.
What's the difference between like Cantonese and Mandarin?
They're like completely different well, I won't say different. Like they're different dialects.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that like Gongdong like is like such a huge province. So that's why a lot of people like kind of confuse like Cantonese as like Chinese, but Chinese has like so many different dialects.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get too confused because then I'm gonna start being ignorant and being like Chinese, Filipino, all the Asian. I don't want to do that. I don't want to get rude. But also, I see you. Do you have native in you too? Because I see a lot of you rep the natives heavy.
Actually, I have a half brother out west in Manitoba.
Okay.
He is Afro indigenous.
Dope.
But also like even with my late father has like he's been like in the reserves in South Dakota, like out west in the prairies when he immigrated from Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's why like I grew up like learning about it, and then when I got my art mentor, Poeta from womack educators, he brought me out to like 6 Nations where I got to connect with like the people there. And from then, I just continued to build and I continued to meet like a lot of elders in my work placements and all that kind of stuff. So
nice.
So before we get into it, do you have any quick shout outs? Anybody you want to big up? Any programs or anything you want to let the people know before we really get into it?
Well, shout out to my bro, DJ Chrissy.
Hey, my guy.
Is he or he?
It's he.
Chrissy. So DJ Chrissy definitely is a fan of the show.
Yeah,
I see him on the comments and stuff.
Yeah, he definitely is he's been one of my first. I want to see he's my first supporter. Like since me and Sav started doing our old show. I don't want to talk about but yeah, he's always been supporting. He's gang, man.
Dang.
Yeah, we've been friends for about 15 years.
Dope.
Dope.
So like we both know each other's families.
Mm-hmm.
He really like supports my art. Like he was there when I was writing like songs, when I was writing like poetry when I went to America.
Okay.
Yeah, so
how important is that, like, to have like 15-year deep relationships to you?
You get to see like the good and the ugly. you get to see who like your real friends are.
Facts.
And oftentimes we mistaken like even maybe childhood friends and like, oh, we're gonna be friends for life. But my mom always told me like your friendships will start like after like around like university, like in your 20s. And me and Chris, there's been times we don't talk for like a year or two, but we always picked up where we start off. And we, even no matter how hard it is, like if he was in trouble or if I was in trouble or like we really need someone to talk to, even if we were beefing, we will always still be there. Yeah.
That's dope.
That's an
big
applause. Gotta
DJ
shout out.
Christian, man.
So
hold on. You have any more shout outs?
oh yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Spin El Poeta, who's my art mentor.
Hey.
Whitney French, who really got me into like Rise, Randell, Nathan Baya.
Shout out Randell though, you know what I'm saying? He won a legacy award, I think, or he was doing the poetry on stage
Okay,
just recently.
dope.
Yeah. And I've worked with Randell a couple years ago on a Black History event for University of Scarborough. So shout out Radio Forward. And shout out Randell, man.
Guy works with everybody.
What's up, man?
Holy, bro.
That's cool, no? Who else you got to shout out?
K Woods
Hey, big up K Woods.
and Incarcerated Voters ON.
Is that like a thing, like incarcerated voters?
So it's an Instagram page, and like they actually want to share some words like when we start talking more about like the prison and jails.
Nice.
Dope.
Shout y'all out, man. I wanted to go back to the friendship thing. Do you have any friendships of the past that you had to cut off, like in the same time frame as you and DJ Chrissy's relationship?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was definitely like a really hard lesson, because like sometimes like when you grow up with like childhood friends, you want to like succeed with them,
Facts.
but sometimes they'll be the ones that be holding you back.
Especially in business.
And like that's why like, and I was wondering why like I was stuck in one place for 10 years. And when I finally let them go, like really let them go, so many doors opened up.
That's dope.
Yeah, bro.
But of course, like I'll always love them, and like if there's any opportunities, I'll send them like their way, because I really do want them to win. It's just that we just can't be in the same table, you know.
Can't have that energy around what you're doing.
Yeah, but it's like I'm still healing from it too, right? Because there's times when I just like, maybe like if I won an award or like I have a new project, like sometimes I'm so tempted to call them and be like, look, remember when we said that when we were kids? And then, then it just hits you again. It's like, oh wow, like they're not here. And then like I just sit in my quiet place, my safe space in nature, and I'm just like, damn, it really like, it hurts. It hurts, yo. It hurts, but like you have to do it for yourself. Like you have to continue to grow, and you don't have to hate. You don't have to hate them if you guys part ways. You know, that's why I want to tell people like sometimes like the biggest act on love is loving from a distance. So yeah.
Dropping gems.
Talk to them.
Hood Chronicles dropping gems.
But I want to ask you, like, trying to get into how you started with the whole prison thing and figuring out, did you ever get arrested when you were younger, or get like treated bad by the cops or anything, discriminated, anything like that?
Peel cops.
Peel police?
Yeah,
No deal, Peel, man.
they know who they are. But I was actually very like lucky, like, you know, like I was surrounded by people that made sure like I wouldn't go to the path. I won't go that path, and that's why like maybe that's one of my major passions into like the work that I'm doing. It's like giving back.
Facts.
You know, like especially when I was younger and like anger issues and like maybe act on emotions. I had people like old timers that really like surrounded me and gave me a lot of wisdom, because that time I wasn't listening to no community leader. I wasn't listening to no teacher or principal. Like if it wasn't for like, even sometimes my family, I won't even listen to them, right? But it was people from like different lifestyles, life journeys that really showed me like light. that reminded me, like, you know what, like, Glow, you're not meant to walk in the path of darkness. You know, like, shine your light. And like I remember this one old timer, actually like a lifer that right now she's continued to like serve a life sentence, because life sentence, like, even when you're back in community,
It's
that
still.
like, yeah, when you're life, you're for life. And she like, and I listen to her, like I see her as my grandmother, like my late grandmother. She like, to be honest with, like, in my eyes, she kind of looks like my grandmother, but she has so much wisdom, and like she like has so much love, and I could vent to her if someone was trying to piss me off or anything. Like, she always said, like, you know what, she'll sit me down, she'll share some of her life stories, and like she said, like, you know what, like, Glow, like, I wish I had somebody to talk to me like how I'm talking to you now, and I highly respect her, so I will sit down and I'll listen. So yeah.
So you were always, so not always, but you were just a little bit more wilder when you were younger, just like out there, you know, and curious to see what's going on.
Like, I'm slowly trying to share like growing up and stuff, but like I've seen a lot. You know, I've seen a lot. Like, it gets weird even when I talk about it. So like my writing's like probably like the best way I could express in my storytelling. But I was just really fortunate. I was really fortunate when I was younger. Like, I had a lot of people who really looked out for me.
That's dope.
Yeah. So.
That's dope that you're preaching that too, because like I think a lot of people need to hear that. Like, you know, having the people around you and, you know, what their worth is.
Exactly. What community did a young Glow stepped her foots on when you were growing up?
Where were you a stepper on?
Yeah, where were you stepping at? I walk.
No, really, honestly, like Toronto. Like, I moved a lot.
Okay.
I explored a lot. I always told myself, like, never to, like, restrict myself in one neighborhood. But of course, there's going to be neighborhoods that, like, I have deep love for.
Which is?
Don't be shy.
I want to say somewhere in the east. I feel like you're.
Nah,
you're
she's a
more
downtown
east.
things though.
Yo, a downtown. Yeah, why is it like that?
Why you say that, right? Why you
Yeah,
remember downtown thing?
You have a downtown vibe, like you know, there's a downtown
Free spirit,
thing,
the
dog.
free spirit.
Yeah, yeah. No East End girls talks like this, dog. And, you know what I'm saying? No disrespect to my East End girls, but yeah.
That is, so let's see who got the right.
Let's see.
I feel like that laugh is we both got it wrong. We got Glow friggin' blushing over here laughing.
She's so nervous too. You
Yeah.
can feel the nerves, like it's just crinking on my skin. But you go, it's okay. Where you from? Who you got love for the most?
Really, Jane.
Nice.
Yeah, Jane Street. Yeah.
I told you we were both wrong.
I know, right? I know, damn.
Shout out to Jane. You see, I don't want to get you in trouble, but up top, north, south,
So,
or all over, just all Jane.
yeah, all over. Like, yes, my father, like, when he like came to like when he left the Paris to come to Toronto, he was more like in church, Wilson area, because that's where most of like Nigerians, the Ghana were, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but when it comes to my art, it was just Finch. Like, Finch has always supported like Tobamori, Palisades, like when it came to like when it came to support and that kind of stuff. And even when I got more into work placement, it was like the spot at Yorkgate Mall, and then JVS in like Jane and Finch Mall. Yeah, and even like I don't know if like the quotes are still there with the Aspire to Inspire by Jane Street Speaks. But that was like my quote was in the Jane Finch Mall, right? And even like Freedom Fridays, like Jane Finch had really supported my art. Another place that was really close to my heart was like actually like Rexdale, because also like growing up, I went to Igbo school. So Igbo is like a tribe and also language in Nigeria. There's like 4 main tribes in Nigeria, right? So so the Igbo school was in Islington. Islington and Bergamot. And the church, the Igbo church that like my dad used to take me to was at Kipling Dixon.
That's dope.
Yeah, so like that's why like I would say like all around like yeah, I even
It's
had like
everywhere.
yeah, so like
Yeah.
Lansdowne, Von Oakwood, like there's a lot of places. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like there's I can't really claim a neighborhood, but of course there's gonna be like places that I have really happy memories. Like
Strong roots and things like that.
yeah,
I never knew there was like Igbo school, like how like they have Tamil school or they have Chinese school. I never knew there was an Igbo school.
yeah.
That's interesting to know.
I actually found out when I went to the India Africa store in Jane Wilson, and I was on the Nigerian and Canadian newspaper, and we saw the Igbo school, and I'm like, Dad, we have to go. So he took me there, and I was going there for a while, but I don't think it continues anymore because a lot of the teachers retired. Yeah, but I was in like a Catholic school, so there was Italian class, there was Portuguese class, and then there was Igbo. And
So
I
these
did
are
Spanish.
private schools? Because who's funding these schools? That's what I want to know. Like, who's funding to
think it was
even keep these schools open?
I think it was private. It was community because like the Igbo Association is huge. So like everyone used to pitch in money every year, or like I don't know, however long it is, and then like yeah, it ran for a while. But like I was in when did I start going to Igbo school? I went to Igbo school like probably from grade 6 to grade 8, I think. Yeah.
So what's the difference, would you say, like going to Igbo school to like Toronto, the Toronto District Board Elementary School?
I mean the Igbo school is pretty much like
Same
Everyone-
thing, just more
yeah.
of your kind?
like everyone knows each other.
Yeah.
Everyone like
You know your
I'll see
business.
them in the church.
and
I see them in all the Igbo events. So like I just know them. So
So how good do you think that is to land in a country and go to a school with similar people? Do you think that kind of closes the social ability to socialize with other cultures?
my family has been always super open. So personally for me, I was exposed to a lot of cultures. So I mean, but I think like in general, like just like how the Chinese will like stick to stick to themselves and stuff. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of like the stereotypes of other cultures that people may have. Maybe for some it actually keeps them in like a closed bubble. So yeah. So like I guess like it really depends on the individual and also like their household. Like who are they? Like I was very privileged and blessed to have like families that were super open, very open, very open minded. They always have exposed me to different cultures, different cuisines, different folks. Like they probably like their coworkers, especially my uncle, like he had like different coworkers from different cultures. So I was just exposed.
Favorite cuisine then?
Pho.
Pho.
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
I see you. I'm tapped in, bro. I pay attention, bro. I pay attention.
Pho. Damn. I
Pho's proper still. Like I can go on with the pho, the soup, the beef soup thing. I can go. I don't eat the beef, but like I can go on with it still. It can go on. And too, like the pho restaurants, they make the best like fried rice and fried chicken still. I'm not gonna lie.
Nice.
Shout out all the pho restaurants out there.
That's dope, bro. So let's get into this book, man. Hood Chronicles. Tell us about it.
So, Hood Chronicles is my second book. It's a collection of short stories, poetry, and it talks about the different lived experiences within the Greater Toronto Area, the GTA. And yeah,
How long did you say was the process for making the book?
this one was like the physical process of writing it out, edit. It took about 8 months, but it was stories, I would say, from as young as 8 years old.
Nice.
Are they all your stories, or can like did other people send in stories and stuff like that too?
No one sent in the stories.
It was all your stories.
Yeah, these are like stories that like I was inspired, personal experiences, people that I really do care about. And yeah. Oh, and there's also like a playlist of different artists that
I see that.
yeah, that inspired me and also that taught me lessons. Like Boozy Badass. If you listen to his like older music, like even some of his newer music, but I liked his early 2000s and stuff.
She
And
got a Boozy Badass song here. So you want to be a gangster. I think I remember that song.
Yeah, and then like yeah, so like that song
Army of
itself.
Angels, hope I make it happen, or hope I make it.
Yeah.
You're a real boozy fan, eh? Like holy,
Yo, Boozy,
You
super
have-
fan right
you got
here.
a super
He
fan
got
right
a book
here.
on you. We're gonna have to tag him. We're gonna have to tag him. So this is your second book.
Hold on, okay, yeah,
Look,
sorry.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I wanted to see like the Toronto females that you have on here because you're definitely tapped in with a lot of females. We see I see Goldie on here. I see Lola Buns, Shorty Raw. Who else? Badass Buck I seen on here. You also got the Stay Seaman remix with all of them. Badass Buck, Lola Buns. Hold on, this is the James Cypher. That one with Roots, Roshi Raw, Badass Buck, Lola Buns. What's the importance to the female rappers in the city to you? What do they mean to you?
They are women that break cycles. They're a woman that showed like you can have raw talent and still make it.
Facts.
And I grew up like just watching them like start from the trenches. And like I am so happy to see how far they came from. I'm so happy. Like I remember Badass Buck and Lola Buns at the spot, and they're doing like I think they're Freedom Fridays, and now to see them with like music videos, Lola Buns at Rolling Loud, I used to remember growing up listening to Goldie London Shadows.
I did that record.
Cool, no, this guy.
It's a glad pick up Goldie, bloody glad.
Yeah, and like to see her like on like having music play but at the Raptors and all that kind of stuff, like
Singing around Rolling Loud.
and like all these achievements, like because like I grew up listening to a lot of the Toronto music. I don't know if people like really like know that about me. Other than like DJ Chrissy is probably the only one that really knows that like
You're tapped in.
yeah. So like when I see them succeed, I'm so happy because I know how hard the city can get. It's only very recently that people like, you know, like more publicly. I mean, of course, there's always gonna be people that has been in the Toronto music scene, but I know how hard it can be because I was like more in like behind the scenes in Toronto scene for like since I was grade 9. So it was like, yeah.
So talk about it. Some behind the scenes stuff that you were working with, or some artists that you were working with that you see and that had to struggle.
I won't like there's
You don't
no,
have to
like,
talk about the
anyone-
struggle, but you
Yeah,
know.
I could like I have been so when I came back from America and I did like the Fallen Soldiers, like there are times when people performed and it was dead silence, like psst, and I'm like damn, you know what I mean? Like I felt it for them, right? And I remember like when I performed one of my poems at that time, I froze like 3 times, but I'm guessing like I was just lucky that people still applaud for me, right? But the guy right after me, dead silence.
Wow.
What
And
show was this?
Fallen Soldiers.
Oh, Fallen Soldiers.
Yeah, and I'm just
Okay.
like, ooh, like I felt it. Like I felt like it was me that was being like, you know. So I know the Toronto crowd can be very difficult. So and I know when it comes to like women, like it can get even really harsh too, right?
Facts.
You know, unless you have like the sex appeal and all that kind of stuff, or you have to do something super wild. It's like the city doesn't really appreciate the talent. Only like a few solid ones that really shine the light on the females. And so when I see them win, I'm like, yes, prove them wrong. Prove it. It doesn't matter how many years it takes.
Yeah,
So,
that's what it takes. You just got to be consistent. Keep going. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of those females in that era. Not even just the females. I think even the guys in general.
Yeah.
They were just part of the bad era of just Toronto not helping, not pushing out anything, no social media. But
that was the problem.
yeah,
It was like the time before social media had all of its like advances. You know what I'm saying? And then once social media started to bubble, the kids that were watching the pre-social media youths, they took the soy sauce and just.
But you can't deny, like, they paved the way for people, right? They definitely paved the way for the rest of the ladies to be doing what they're doing.
Oh, for sure.
With me, they hear it and they see my complaints. My only thing is I just wish, because again, I don't care about none of their personal shit. I know they all have personal lives. I'm a fan of their music. I wasn't a fan of their personal lives. You know what I'm saying? So me, I want to see more music. That was my only route to all of them. I just wanted them to be consistent because even the consistency is gonna help them regardless. But
sure.
you know, like they got their lives. They all do their things. I wish all of these ladies the best, and like, you know, we'll see what we know. Goldie, Lola, we've been seeing them kill it, but the rest of them, hopefully, you never know if they pop back up and do shit. We're still gonna support regardless.
Exactly. Now, back to the books.
Okay.
This is your second book.
Yes.
What was your first book called?
The first book is called A Kintsugi Memoir, and kintsugi is Japanese art of repairing broken pottery, and it talks about there is beauty even in our brokenness, the stories, the paths, the crossroads that are in our life. Society may judge depending what it is, but you can still see how it plays a huge role into your growth, into your strength. So the memoir was pretty much poetry that I was actually going through it when I was writing it, because it took me 5 years to write it. And within that 5 years, I had to go through the process of losing my grandmother, losing my father, losing really valuable people in my life, and also dealing with writer's block, also dealing with, you know, like identity issues as an artist. So I went on hiatuses, and within that time, I probably tried to delete the manuscript 55 times. I lost count after that. Like, I was going to trash it, like trash everything, like.
Damn.
And I was going through like breakdowns. I could be like true to it. There's times when I'm just like, I don't want to write no more, you know, especially like it was a time of like, I would say like one of my lowest. So when I wrote that memoir, I originally just wanted to write it for myself. Like, to be honest with you, or like the most I would do, like maybe like saved up money and just like buy like a batch of books and do it for outreach. Just give it out for free. But then, you know, my friends like hit me in my head and be like, what the hell, Glow? You gotta sell it. And I'm like, oh, fine. Fine. But like the first batch, like I saved up the money. I took my time. Shout out to Harpreet Gill. She's my financial advisor, and like she really like, I really listened to her. And just to like let everyone know, Hood Chronicles wouldn't have been possible if I didn't take her advice on saving plans. So please follow her on Instagram.
Harpreet Gill.
Big up yourself, Miss Gill.
Yeah, man. How did you end up? And sorry for my condolences for your father and your grandmother. I know how that feels. But how did you end up breaking out of the writer's block? Because I know that is such hell stress to come out of that. What did you do? Like, what was like the processes like?
This is when I have give a huge shout out to womack educators, to Spin. When I had my writer's block, I actually attended his like youth workshops, and he had this book called The Artist's Way. I'm trying to remember, is it Julicia or Julia Cameron? And it was these writing prompts, and it was also these there was this exercise called the morning pages, and basically it says like every morning before you start your daily routine, you write out for about 1 minute to 4 minutes, and you just write. And also Spin told me to write what I'm scared the most. So what I'm scared the most about to write, you write that out. And it was a love letter to my grandmother, and also like a letter of like forgiveness and self-forgiveness with my late father. So I started writing my grandma's poem, and I started off writing it in like, you know, like in Cantonese, right? But like, and this is when she was like terminally ill. So like, I don't know, like I have this weird thing where I'm like, oh my gosh, if I write this piece, like will she pass a little bit quicker? So I was holding myself back, you know, like sometimes like, you know, when you're writing your memoir, or writing something and like something bad happens, like you curse it. So I'm like, oh, yeah, chill, right? But I finished that poem the same week that she passed. So, and it's called Teen. Teen means heaven and sky, because we grieve in my mother's tongue, I heal in my mother's tongue. And for my father, I wanted to write like a letter of honesty. You know, like our relationship has always been like in and out, and before he passed, I didn't speak to him for like 10 years. So I was trying to write this letter for 10 years actually. And I couldn't write it because so he passed 8 months after my grandma passed. And they discovered him. Yeah, it was a whole entire like it's a story itself, right? But in that process I was able to write write a poem. I also you know, the Bible verse on like love and like Corinthians, like love is patient, love is kind. I wrote it in Igbo.
Nice.
So that's how I finished it, and that's how I got out of the writer's block.
So when will we be expecting another book anytime soon, or are you gonna be focusing on like your other arts, your speaking engagements and stuff like that?
I actually have a third book. It's in the process. The manuscript is done. It's just like whenever I decide to print it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. So
Would we be seeing possibly some of these books taken into like a live action maybe? You start filming some of these stories and these short films that you have a part of the books?
I've been wanting to. So I guess like whenever is like the good time. I'm a person that's like patient. And I'm a person that will like visualize like the projects before it comes to life. So
That's dope.
That's dope.
That's dope, bro.
So I don't know any other way to ask this. Why is the prison system in Toronto so screwed up? Or the prison systems all around the world, why are they so screwed up?
well, what was the history of prisons, right? That's a question to ask, right? And
What were they? For somebody that wasn't as educated to them.
jails and stuff were actually for the runaway slaves. So when we talk about like a broken system, we talk about like the system was not broken, right? There was like, you know, saying the system's not broken. It was built as it should be for the people who created it, right? And if you really like, if you compare to different systems, like if you look at a system like my late father always talked about like systems like in Switzerland or Finland or Norway. Yo, some of these places look like a hotel, to be honest.
Yeah, I see. I think it was Switzerland. I seen like it's like, yo, it's nice, bro. It looks like, holy, that's how you're living.
Yeah, like they receive like beyond their GED. They actually have like quality education. They're provided jobs, like, and not like no like slavery type of like, because you know, for those who like, you know, work in like, inside the prison, like you know how they, you know, the rates. I think the rates are still the same, like what, $5? Yeah, it never changed. So you know, but like over there, it's like they want you to go back to society. They want to they don't want to separate you from the community. And if you compare it to here, they want to cause such a divide. They want to isolate you.
Now here you're talking about like the Americas, like North America in itself.
Yeah, North America, like, and like, you know, Seventh Amendment, like down south, and like it's legalized slavery, it's modernized slavery. So
Jeez.
And like if you really look into like the prison labor, like if you look into a lot of if you really look into like the stores, like even your car license plate, that's prison labor. If you really look into it, if you like, I would have to like pull up like all the research and stuff, but even some of the coffee, where you get your coffee sometimes, yeah, or even with women, like where you get your lingerie, your bras, like some of them is actually from the prison system.
Shit.
And like if you look, if anyone have like maybe a little bit like couple years, like few decades back, it was to the point where like people were complaining that the prisoners were doing a better job building stuff.
Yeah, because the prisoners were also building stuff for the army and stuff like that. All crazy stuff. I remember that. And it's just like they were trying to implement more jobs, but it's just like you're not paying them anything. Like
You're not paying
they're working for pretty much nothing.
And like, yeah, like even like some of the community stuff, like there's so many stories to tell, you know.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, like it's just like how they try to rip these people off, even for someone coming out. Like if you look into like a lot of like some of the programs that supposed to support them, like they're ripping them off. How come-
Explain. Like programs like what?
I can't like come up with one program, but like I'm just saying, like for example, like if I wanted to have like maybe like a farming like type of job, right?
Mhm.
And if I were to bring it to like certain organizations, folks, whatever, they'll talk about, oh, maybe just give them a food box. But you, as a volunteer coordinator, do you want 40,000 K salary? And I'm like,
That's mad.
you might as well just,
So you're saying
like
you're saying they're
no
not
words, man.
they're not doing enough for the communities that they're servicing. They're just kind of like taking everything for themselves in a sense.
Yeah. I don't have the exact numbers right now, but if you look at what's it called again? The Justice Fund. I think Justice Fund TO. Oh, I forgot. Like, so it was outside of City Hall for a while, and you see like this huge truck, and it was like a number 8, and it's all these zeros, like billions, trillions, and it talks about how the nonprofit, like they keep like 89% of the funds, and given the community, I think legally they have to give, I think it was less than 20% or maybe 8%.
Wow.
And so like you have to look at Justice Fund. Like that's the best I can like remember right now. But if you really look into a lot of it, like they still continue ripping off people. And like, how do you expect someone to really like come back to community after you cage them? First of all, you cage them, and then it's inhumane. It's really inhumane if you think about it.
Because even with the COVID situation, like you're having a lot of death. Like even that, like it's crazy because like fuck, if my situation, I went in maybe a year before COVID happened, or a year or two maybe before, right? And I'm thinking I don't know how I would have survived during COVID, all that craziness. Like, what do they do? Because I've had conversations with people that are like, oh well, they're criminals, so what? And it's just like, yeah, but they're still human beings. Like, just because like so we're writing them off forever kind of thing. Like, going back to the conversation we had, I don't know if it's on camera or not, but like you're pretty much torturing people, and at that point you might as well just kill them if you're gonna do that. But like, yeah, going back to the COVID situation like that, like why? Because the prisons aren't privately owned. Not.
Yes, they are. I think
They are.
There's some prisons that are privately
So
owned.
like
Oh, up
why?
here, right?
So like why
Most
isn't
states.
the word getting out there? Like why aren't people hearing more about these things, or why aren't they pushing the agenda to like even ask for help for these situations? Like I don't know, like I just want to like try to understand what would be even the cause of like holding it down. Yeah, people are dying in here. We don't want you guys to know. But you guys are going to end up finding out anyways. Like their families are going to know, like they're calling their loved ones and they're not answering, or they're not getting a call from them anymore. Like something's up. Like why would they want to keep? I don't know, but in your take, what you've seen over the last 2 years with COVID and shit like that, what's your experience with it, with the prisons?
It's heartbreaking because it's something that people have been saying it for decades. For decades. The abuse, the neglect, the medical neglect. We have lost so many brothers and sisters over medical neglect. You know? And damn. Cuz this hits home, right? So damn.
No, take a second, man. Take a second.
It's the fact that like you don't even get to hear your loved ones. Sometimes as bad as months, weeks, days, they're not showering. And then when you get that phone call after a while, I have heard like some of the most strongest people even contemplating suicide. Or like they dealt with overdose. And COVID really brought everything out. Like the overcrowding, the staff shortages, like especially like even right now there's people.
Because it was worse before. It was worse like a couple of years ago. Like staff, like there nobody really could come in. They have to lock down the jail for like the weekend or a couple of days. And now it's even worse now. Like
It's even worse. Like because remember, like even like for programming, you need the program officers. If one of them decides not to show up, if they don't decide to show up,
everything's mashed up.
lockdown. And then we know about the holidays and summertime.
Oh yeah.
People wants to like be with their family. Oh, okay. We're here. We can pick and choose not to show up. What happened?
Because
Lockdown.
they're on thing, right? Their work thing that they work under. Why they union? They're unionized, so they can't get fired like that. You know what I'm saying? That's another problem within itself. Like I don't. Is there? Do you, in your personal opinion, do you think maybe not in your time of living, but maybe in the next couple of years, the prisons in North America will get to a change to where they're actually helping people, rehabilitating people? Like people are coming out, getting real jobs instead of like shutting people down. Like, do you think it's ever gonna get like that, or it's not? It's this is the way it is. This is the way it was meant to be.
So, I like to be a little bit more hopeful, but a lot of people are just like, it's functioning how it wants to function. And that's when like, the talk of abolishment and like abolition, all that type of talk start to pick up, because it's just like, yo, like we're trying to like literally like try to bandage up a wound. But this wound is already like, when a wound has infection, if you're just going to bandage it, like, it's going to continue to fester, right? So that's why they're talking about just wiping it clean and starting out again. And I don't know, like, to be honest with you, I don't see it in this lifetime. I find with, now with technology and social media advocacy, like a lot of people like, yeah, change. And I really hope for those who are getting into like the work, like you can't celebrate it in short-term like victories. Because that's actually like a strategy in the art of war. They want you to celebrate and forget your purpose. So they could do the name change. They could do 1, 2, I don't know, like, well, I mean, policy is more long term, but like, you know what I mean? Like a 1, 2 change, they're going to be happy. They're going to like leave us alone. And when people start to forget and people hop onto the next trend, what happened to the people that we were trying to fight for, to be a voice for? Like we see it, like, especially within these past 2 years, we've seen so many trends and people are just hopping on and off, and the people who've been like long-term like advocates, activists, they get screwed over, because when the majority moves on, that's when the enemy starts plucking out people now. Like, yeah, you're going to the bin. Yeah, you 7 years for this shit. You're causing disturbance. Bye-bye. People start getting followed now. People start all sorts of shenanigans, right? But would the public even pay attention? No, they're on some next, like, they're on the, like, I don't know, the 15th, like, trend. And, like, it's so dangerous. It's not safe. And people get burnt out. And, like, after these past 2 years, I feel like a lot of people they're just, like...
Tired.
They're tired, like, and it sucks because everyone's burning out at the same time. That's the worst. You don't want everyone to burn out at the same time. That's when, like, the enemy really screws everybody over, and they're going to wipe everyone clean.
Facts.
So
another thing we started seeing a lot of was the trend of a lot of, well, like we were seeing the trend of artists going inside, but a lot of Toronto rappers and like a lot of notable artists, whether it was like the Heartless G's, Sam G's, J Nobles, Bizloke, like we started seeing a super trend. The trend that was pretty interesting to me was the Heartless and J Nobles trend of using their lyrics. They were the first, well, I want to say J Noble was actually the first artist where they kind of used his lyrics against him. And then, not J Noble, Heartless G. Heartless G was the first one.
Ammo,
Ammo. They used his lyrics against him. I apologize.
Yeah.
But J Noble's situation too was kind of messed up, where it was just like they just were like, you're a gangster, you're the head of this gangster crew. We're gonna take you down. And I don't know if you ever, like, if you were paying attention to the J Noble situation, the video, to me, like, it's crazy to me. Like, they show the video of him in the center and saying that he made the eye contact, but what they never show is J Noble's reaction to when the guns go off. They're showing everybody else's reaction. Hey, well, these persons were scared. I wanted to see J Noble's reaction to see if he was scared, because if he was an alleged gangster, this and that and the third, He's gonna be scared if guns go off too, because these guys might be coming after me. Then if you guys think I'm a gangster,
On top of that, if he knew something was gonna go down, why even stay in there? You
why
would just
even have?
leave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
why wouldn't just
I know.
leave? Like,
Yeah.
so you seeing with these cases and stuff like that, do the guys do guys even have a chance? Like, does it make sense to go and spend your money on a lawyer to still have the justice system say, well, you know what, we're taking you down regardless?
Mhm.
Like, what does somebody in Jay Noble's situation do? Like, we're obviously putting awareness to it, but if a big name lawyer doesn't say, well, hey, I'm gonna take this case just because it's the right thing to do, what does Jay Noble do? He's stuck behind bars for something that they're alleging he's doing. Or that he did, sorry. And sorry to cut you really quick, because he said something about this in his case.
Yeah.
So he put up a statement. This was on July 28th when he was just talking about the whole case in general. And he said in one of the paragraphs, like, the person convicted of the committing the actual offense testified at his own trial. And he told the courts that the incident had nothing to do with me. I had no involvement, he explained to the courts. The personal issue he had with the victim that led up to the incident. The jury at his trial believed him and rejected the Crown's theory of involvement in the case. As a result of that, the first-degree murder charge against him was dropped to a second-degree murder, and he receives 15 years. But my boy is getting life. He's getting a first-degree murder charge. Jay Noble.
Yeah.
So it's like, even that, like, they're just making up things, and it's just like, well, I don't know. Like, what's your say? What do you think Jay Noble could do? Like, if somebody from Jay Noble's camp or family hears this, what do you think they should do in his situation?
So when it comes to like cases like this, you don't want you want to make sure you keep the case relevant. And this is what I learned, like supporting loved ones in like Florida and like California too, right? So you do your petitions. It's very I know it's a very slow and tedious process. Talk about it. Come onto their platforms. Create these platforms, podcasts. Continue to talk about it, because you don't know who's gonna listen. So you could do petitions. You could do like email zaps. You could do phone zaps. Talk to your local MPPs. Yeah, MPPs. Like, send letters. Letters of support. Yeah.
What if you get denied appeal? Is it pretty much a wrap? Because for certain people, they think like, whether here, once you get denied, it's done.
That's what people say.
Yeah, that's what people say. I know that I know you can still fight it. Like, you can go to the Supreme Court. Like, there's other ways that you can do it, but people think like, once you denied appeal, that's it, it's done. You gotta hold it, kind of thing.
So this is where your resilience is tested. Don't give up. To the loved ones, don't give up. I know it's really taxing. Like, I have loved ones that are fighting like 40 years. Deny. But they're still fighting.
Yep.
Continue to speak the case. Continue to get people who are truly passionate about it. Some people might jump on the wave and then jump off. And as long as you have like a solid team that will continue to push through the mud, through any type of storm, weather, shenanigans, keep pushing. There's always a way. There's loopholes to this. There's loopholes to the law. Honestly, there's some music that will teach you about the law. Look into your law books. Sometimes, honestly, if you are very well educated in the language of law and stuff, you could actually like represent yourself. But study it. Study the law. Take your time, especially for the mandem and for like the woman. Like, have your loved ones go into those law libraries. Have them talk to professionals. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of times the door is closed. They're going to say that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to discourage you. Go to the next one. You don't have to just stick to one person. It doesn't matter how famous they are or whatever. Go to the next one. There's just one like platform that denies you of talking about your loved one's case. Go to the next one. Call in. Keep fighting. There's going to be someone that's going to pick it up. All you need is that one person to pick it up and really showcase it. Just don't give up. Please don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up.
What about like newspaper reporters? You suggest that maybe? tapping in with one of
Yes.
those guys?
Yes.
Any reporter, that one's
Yeah, like you don't even have to go to like I guess the major ones. If the major ones that keep denying you, wait until the upcoming journalist comes up. They'll take on stories. They'll take it on.
The young and hungry.
Yeah, the young and hungry, like that. Usually they're the ones who are more open. The
Yeah.
young lawyers that are coming in, the law students, special law students, they'll take it in. Or like, if there's like retired people, the retired folks, they have the time to really like look into it, dig into it. You have to keep fighting, even if you have to go to another country, and like connect with people. Like I connected with Initiate Justice in California. Connect with them, even if like I know the laws are different, whatever. But I find that a lot of trends that happen in the corrections in Cali starts to spread out, and eventually, for some reason, here starts picking on some of the trends.
It's funny you say that because remember when they had the year of the gun stuff and all that stuff, and
Yeah.
Toronto was trying to battle that. They actually had consultants from other countries dealing with the same stuff, and they would adopt their what they were doing over here.
Giving your gun and you get something and they give you $100 or some shit. But
So when they
man,
say
them weren't
that,
believing that though.
so when they say that this shit like is all connected, it really connected for real.
No, it is. I know another idea they wanted to do is start hiring former gang members to start talking to the youth, which I think that they should do down here like a motherfucker. You should guys that I don't know, just guys that have been through it. You should be giving these guys jobs. I don't know. We see it all the time, bro. We talk about it, but it's one thing about talking about it and actually like putting in action, and actually the people that wanting to do it too, right?
Yes.
Like, do people actually want to help these young youth or any of these young people that are coming up in the streets or, you know, involved in this hood shit? So it's really up to them if they're gonna actually do that and make that change. But I guess we gotta see. What do you think is also another thing like we can bring awareness to before you get out of here? Just other things that you want people to know that are going on behind the scenes that they might not be aware of. And also, like, how can people get, I guess they need information on if they come out of jail, maybe somebody that's coming out of jail, they see this and they watch this and they need information on funding, housing, helping for any sort. If you can just give them some, you know, some little information.
You can like, well, hopefully people have like Instagram,
Right.
but for like loved ones to go on incarcerated voters ON. There's like so many other support. There's like Think Twice. There is like Direct Your Life. Like there's Amadeus. I think that's it. I think that's what they call it. Amadeus. I can't pronounce it. Yeah. But yeah, like honestly, like they posted like a lot of like stuff, like even like with the yeah, you can apply for like the funding, and like even and also like with these organizations, they also have partnerships too, right? Like partnerships in housing and that kind of stuff. Like just continue to search, really continue to search. Another thing that I would like to mention from incarcerated voters is that number one, this is for the public to hear, okay? Healthcare for people inside is paid for by the correctional healthcare budget from the Solicitor General. This means that correctional officers are making healthcare decisions about prisoners based on the money, not what's best for the prisoner's health. Number two, 8 people have died in Maplehurst since February, and we're not even getting any reports from the minister.
And that's the 8 people that we know of. There's probably more that we just haven't been reported.
Yeah, and I know like maybe like last month there was 2 deaths in Collins Bay.
Did they say why? Or
I don't know. I'm hearing from hangings, suicide. But I know most of them is like a lot of overdoses. A lot, especially a lot of the comrades that are coming outside, overdosing, like depression, and plus like with like COVID, it was like shelters were cut in half. The spaces like it was to one point where like shelters had like what do you call it again? Yeah, it was completely it was done. Like they were done. There was no space in shelters. I know there was like somebody that some of my friends were like supporting, and they were trying to get housing for this person for a while because they were going to be released from the penitentiary. No housing, and that was like more than a year.
and that's for that's parole and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, so a lot of people got screwed over. Some people actually just end up having to sit waste their years
Wow.
after they finish in their sentence.
And they just have to sit there.
They have to
in
sit
jail.
there because there's no space for them.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. RPG bundles, bro. He actually did pass in a prison just this year.
Damn, man. And I
It's my
know,
dog, man.
and I know, Biz Loke was trying to like put out the word on that stuff too, because he said that he was going through some tough times through there too. So hold your head, Biz. Hold your head, everybody. Heartless, all the guy, all the dogs, them.
Also, for like action, there is a rally on November 16 from healthcare providers against poverty and incarcerated voters. And it's a prison healthcare rally just to raise a lot of awareness. Please show up. When it comes to like info nights, they also have like their Zoom is online too, so you can like tune in. I don't know if there's any more like upcoming in-person events, but like just show up. Also like there is like book drives, like a lot of the institutions like the library is just not.
Marshall.
Yeah, it's not
Where's
doing
Marshall?
it. It's not doing it. So like send culturally relevant books. Books that talk about life, talk about maybe self-care, sci-fi, just give
More
them like
uplifting books instead of the jail books and the criminal books that they be reading all the time. I know what you're saying, because like more
Yeah.
times they get the shitty books, or like the books that it be making you think to go do some more shit when you come outside from.
and like make sure that they're in like good conditions. Please.
Oh yeah.
Please don't give up the mashed up ones, because like the ones that the cover is missing. And,
Yeah,
like,
you don't know what the name of the book is.
yeah, or like the coffee stain or ketchup stain. Like, come on,
Yeah,
come on.
yeah,
Let's be nice,
yeah.
people. Let's be
Yeah.
nice. And even like there's gonna be upcoming. Like I know the season is coming up. Like winter. There's a lot of winter clothing. And then also like Project F. Like I know they have their clothing drive and stuff. There's just so many. There's so many things. If you just follow like the pages, there's so many things you could do. There's so many things you could do. I don't know what's going on with the prisoner emergency fund from TPRP, but like I know there should be like other emergency funds and like food box runs, and they need like a lot of support, because these higher ups, there's so much they're going to do before they're going to be like, nah, like this is too much, right? Like we take care of ourselves,
Facts.
right? Like at the end of the day, like we have seen how community really stood up, but we need to have that consistency on the drive. Like even when I think it was winter time, and like they did like an emergency drive, they raised up to, how much was it? It was like a couple $100K within like a week,
Nice.
right?
Mm-hmm.
It was possible because people had like the heart, people had empathy. It wasn't just the labels, and it wasn't like, oh, this person was incarcerated, or what crime did they do, blah, blah, blah. Like, they just seen them as humans. At the end of the day, they're still humans. They have families, right? Like, we can get to all the politics and all that kind of stuff, but can we just look at them as humans first? And then, like, act accordingly. Like, act like, treat them like humans, because remember, like, life is surprising. You don't know every day, every second. All it takes is one decision.
One split second decision change your life forever.
Yeah, and knowing how the courts can be, and if you don't have that money, if you don't have people who are willing to fight for you, like even just the fact that like a lot of people in jail shouldn't even be in jail. Like like a lot.
Bro, I told you about my story at the beginning.
Yeah. Like even like there's wrongful convictions. There's like people who's just still awaiting trial. They're not even.
Yep.
Like I thought I was innocent until proven guilty. Now it's like guilty until proven innocent.
People that get immediately get told that they're a dangerous offender, and they're just sitting. No, not even a release date, no date for anything. You're just sitting because you're a dangerous offender. Because that's what they labeled you as. So you can't do anything. You just gotta wait till they label you not a dangerous offender.
Even that whole entire dangerous offender, there's times when like it's literally because of the neglect of staff, but you still pin it on the mandem.
Yep.
And that'll have to be another time.
Yeah, don't worry.
You're
Honestly,
coming back. You're
I
probably
think
gonna
we
be
should-
here every month, bro.
Yeah, we should bring it. No, honestly, real shit. I'm thinking, Glow. Even if it's like 20 minutes, anytime that there's something going on, call us. If we're in the area, you come film. Let us know what's going on. We can
Yes.
ask you questions about it, because
Yes.
where else are you gonna have a space like this? And if we have the space and we have the opportunity to put more light on it, this is definitely something I want, because I know, like, majority of the people we all know, like, there's somebody we know that's in the streets, right?
100%.
And they might be hearing this, and they might change their mind to be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm hearing this is all the shit that I got to go through just in case I get arrested.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with that shit.
Yeah.
I'm off of this. And because I heard you guys talk about it, I want to go get a real 9 to 5. I want to go apply myself for something else. So
Or be an entrepreneur, or, you know, pick up one of my hobbies. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Bro, we can go so deep into the issues, the social ills that these communities have been going through, and the mistreatment that not only just the jails but the people of power just don't want to fucking deal with the youth them right, dog. Like, there's so many ways to navigate, you know what I'm saying, troubled youth or youth in communities that may, you know, touch the wrong step. There's things we could do as a people, but we just ignore them. We ignore the fact, or we take the money, or you know what I'm saying? Oh, we got a family. Why should we care about this? Nigga,
Yeah.
come on, my G.
And like, even talking about youth, I really want to end off with like, for anyone who's listening, especially like, you know, right now my heart weeps for like a lot of youth that are like, who are victims of the violence, who are committing the violence. I really do want to have a message for you. It's called generational compensation. At the end of the day, whatever decision that you make, it could be something that you've been thinking about. It could be something that was act on emotion. Maybe it was a hurt of pride or ego. Or maybe it was something that someone have done you wrong and you don't know how to handle it. Or you had the space to really process your thoughts. I really want you to like hear me out. Karma will get to you. If not you in this lifetime, it may hit your descendants. It may hit your loved ones in your family. Remember, what violence is not just between both parties. It's everyone around it. So before you make your decisions, I really want you to think about it. Just think about yourself. Think about the loved ones that you really care about. Like, I don't know how many people really like are comfortable talking about it, but there have been people who, like, some grown people, big people, that broke down in tears because they couldn't protect their child. And like, as the violence is increasing, this is like, don't do it for the clout. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Too many young people who haven't even experienced life get sent for life or doing life. It's not worth it. That's all. Like, you are loved. I don't know who you may be, but you are loved. Please think about it.
Thank you, man. Those are some kind words from Glow, man. Thank you, Glow, for coming through with those kind words and just all the information. Make sure you go check her out on Instagram. That's GL Glowz. Hood Chronicles out. Where can they get this at? Amazon and all the bookstores there? I don't know the bookstore thing there.
No, you could just DM me, because I
Okay.
like to actually meet the people that buy my books. So, yeah.
So DM her if you have any information, anything with any prison stuff. Serious stuff though. Don't be hitting her up in her DMs and taking her around on date and she's a baddie and all them stuff there. Professionalism. But yeah, and hopefully you could come back. We can talk more about like the loved ones in the prisons and just more anything that you got going on. Write it down. Let us know. Come through. We can chop it up with you, man. Any last words? Anybody got any last words? I thought this was really, really dope.
No, this was perfect. I don't even want to shout nobody out.
I don't want to shout nobody. I want to shout out Glow.
Yeah,
Hold it down, everybody. That's behind bars. Hold your head. You know, even to the people that are working that are actually trying to help.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out
We
to
gotta
them.
appreciate those ones. And hopefully, you know what? If you have any CEOs or anything, tell them to come forward. We need to talk to them
Yeah.
because maybe we there's a disconnect. And we need to find out, maybe that's the connect right there is the CEOs. Maybe the CEOs could be helping the mandem so much more, but there's a disconnect and we don't know how to connect it.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely we need to talk to a CEO or something.
Yeah, you
A
know
CEO
what?
or two.
Yeah, a few. Or
Yeah,
a few.
yeah, CEO few.
Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Tap into what Glow's doing. DJ Las Vegas, Fleetwood DJs.
Nah,
Gutsy
bro,
Gut-
Fleet. DJs, not
Fleet-
Fleetwood.
Sorry, Fleet DJs. I don't
Fleetwood
know
is a
why-
country guy. Fleetwood Mac.
No,
Nah,
I
nigga.
don't know.
Fleet DJ
Fleet
gang.
DJs.
Fleet DJ, what it do?
I don't know why I had to
International
put the
Fleet
wood in
DJ.
there.
That's what's up, bro.
We off of this.
Peace.